It's a sad reality. A rundown motel filled with people who thought they were getting drug treatment, but in reality, they were being taken advantage of, victims of a scam. City officials in the town of Eloy say it wasn't providing treatment at all, but was actually a dumping ground for people while a medical provider cashed in. Team 12's William Pitts explains how this town discovered an alleged Medicaid scam playing out right in front of them.
Quickly turned into a place that you needed to watch very closely.
The Skyriders Suites, right next to the Eloy Airport, Arizona's skydiving mecca. Skydiver Wayner Davis used to stay here before everything went downhill.
Everybody's watching their gear closely. Everybody's watching their bicycles, you know.
About a year ago, the Skyrider was sold. It was still a motel, but one without any rooms available. They were always full. The clientele, no longer skydivers.
Strangers walking around, checking things out, looking in windows.
All of a sudden, we started getting more service calls from our police department.
Mayor Micah Powell says the city started looking into the motel that didn't act like a motel.
Trafficking is probably a good word of what they were doing.
According to the city of Eloy and an Arizona Department of Health report, the motel was a dumping ground for people who thought they were going to rehab. But the place had no state license, and investigators could not find that any actual services were being provided there.
Just dumping them. It was just a place where, like a set it and forget it kind of thing.
12 News reviewed dozens of police reports from the Skyrider Suites since the new ownership, showing suicides, numerous mentions of drugs, even one case of suspected sexual abuse, where a man identified as a counselor was accused of providing drugs to a patient staying at the hotel. The woman told police he said she would have to please him in order to stay with the rehab program. That counselor was eventually arrested for outstanding warrants.
There was no supervision. We want to protect everybody, you know. We even want to protect them. You know, but they're the ones that were just left out to the cold by this company.
It's terrible.
And the mayor knows about being left in the cold. He says he used to be homeless, a drug addict. He got help the people in this motel weren't getting.
I lived in a homeless shelter. You know, I've seen that side of life. I've been there. I've experienced it. I wasn't just let go and say, you know, fend for yourself kind of stuff.
12 News attempted to contact the owner of the motel with no luck. According to the DHS report, the patients were from a company called Muriel Wellness Center, but it was more than an hour away from Eloy, in Phoenix. That company was one of more than 100 placed on a state suspension list, suspected of fraudulent billing through Access. Soon after that, Mayor Micah Powell says the hotel shut down. The so-called patients disappeared. Who knows where?
You're kicking them when they're down. And that's not what it's supposed to be. That's not us as humans. That's not what we're supposed to do.
No state agency would talk to 12 News about the motel, Muriel Wellness, or what happened to the people who used to live there. The city of Eloy says it's looking for ways to prevent this kind of thing from happening again. In Eloy, William Pitts, 12 News.